Hi everyone, it's me, Kat Yui. Once again, I want to apologize for the lack of Glee related specifically videos. I'm gonna catch up on my rewatch, but for now, I've had another challenge over on Tumblr. This one was shipping feels. You give me a ship from my ship list, which I will put down in my comment section, in my description, and I will tell you the following. I will explain why I ship them and if it's a canon ship or just a fanon ship. If you don't see my ship listed on the document, then it's fine. Still ask me it. I'll tell you if I ship that or if I even know what the hell it is. But I did get someone with three ships, and they asked me, the Red and White Queen asked me about Alexa Methos from Highlander, Athena Helo from Battlestar Galactica, and Arya Gendry from Game of Thrones. Now, this is a very different spatial thing, so I'm going to go with Alexa Methos. Now, Alexa and Methos are from Highlander. Alexa only showed up in one episode, but she was mentioned a couple other times. Methos is my favorite character ever and should be in every crossover of everything. He was 5,000 at least years old, longest living immortal, very clever, played the game very, very well. If you haven't watched Highlander, the series, watch it just for Methos. Duncan, I'm sorry. Methos, I love you more. Methos meets Alexa. She works at Joe's bar. Joe is the watcher, but he's also friends, and it's a bit complicated. But she works at his jazz bar as a waitress, and Methos meets her, and Methos is smitten. This 5,000-year-old guy sees her, maybe talks to her once in the conversation about orders, and is instantly smitten. And when, Joe asks him, why her, or basically something like that, can't remember the exact context because I haven't rewatched recently, but I will rewatch at some point, he's like, you just meet people sometimes and you know. And it's a wonderful story, and at one point, he's trying to ask her out, and she's reluctant, and she said, why do you want to go out with me? And Methos' response to that is, because the alternative is unthinkable. And God, I love him so much. He is my perfect character, and he was so in love with her, and then Joe tells him that she's dying. You don't know what specifically she's dying of, just that she's dying. She's got something that's killing her. And she's once again reluctant to go out with him, and he pursues it, and he takes her on a wonderful worldwide trip, and I don't know how long their relationship actually lasts, because they don't give a specific timeline that I remember. I think it was about 6 months before she dies, but he still remembers her. The guy's been married, he says at one point, I think he's been married 50 times in the course of 5,000 years, and who knows how many other relationships he's had that are that important to him. But it was just a one-off character that impacted Methos' story, and I thought told a lot about him as a character growth, a lot of things. And I loved him and her. They were perfect, absolutely, positively perfect and adorable and everything. Let's see. I could keep going on about them for a while, even though there's nothing there. Let me actually rewatch the episode, and I will give you reams of it. Okay, next. Athena Helo from Battlestar Galactica. Okay. I had so many ships on that show. It was ridiculous. It was a dystopian, the end of the world. I can't even describe it properly right now because I'm too busy thinking about those two. But Battlestar Galactica, you know. The androids have taken over and exploded all of our planets. Ah! But they look like us. Ah! There's copies. Ah! You know, that kind of thing. Athena is one of the number 8s. Once again, it's been a couple years. Give me a break. She originally meets Helo, who is one of the pilots. He is stranded on Caprica, but he stranded on there. He stranded himself purposely because he gave up his spot to a scientist who could go be safe on the ships before they left Baltar. I yell at Baltar, but Baltar led to lots of interesting things, damn him. And so Helo's trapped there. Now, number 8s were already infiltrating the ships. There was one number 8 who was called Boomer. Boomer was Helo's co-pilot. So Helo knows Boomer. So Sharon the other number 8 pretends to be Boomer and says she came back to rescue him. They had this whole little side plot, and I'm sorry, but Battlestar Galactica was great at making side plots that worked. I mean, some other shows really need to learn how to do that, but they did it, and I gave a shit about all these different side plots that go around, because I gave a shit about all the different characters, and they worked it brilliantly, and I loved it, and it was awesome. Okay, back to Athena and Helo. So, they have this thing, she's supposed to get him to love her, because the whole thing is the Cylons, the cybernetic organisms, is that they want to learn how to reproduce besides copying themselves. And they've learned that in order to get pregnant or conceive a child, there needs to be love. So they think, okay, we'll get the human to love her, because there's already something going on. There's already a relationship, so we'll trick him. We'll make him fall in love with her. She'll get pregnant. We'll be able to procreate. Yada yada yada. Thing is that Sharon falls in love with Helo. She gets pregnant. Now it's very, like, there's some kind of back and forth of, no, wait, I found out you're a Cylon, that's terrifying, and, you know, then she rescues him, she puts herself in the way of danger for him, she basically proves that she loves him, to Helo's perspective. He now believes, she loves me, she's not like Boomer, she's different. I feel weird in this tank top, one moment. My own fault for just being comfortable, but jacket. Okay, so Helo now believes that she loves him, and she does love him. Sharon loves him completely, and I think at this point he's only calling her Sharon instead of Boomer, because Boomer is a totally different Sharon, with her own horribly fucked up side plot, which, oh, Boomer. But, so they go back to the ships, and it's just those poor two. It takes so long for them to ever get in a good place. I mean, I should have just warned for spoilers right off the bat. Yeah, spoilers? If you don't know there's spoilers in this, then whatever. I mean, she's taken prisoner. She tries to help him, but she can. People try to, two people want to kill her. Some other people try to rape her, because, you know, she's just a machine. And it's a power play, and men are disgusting, and so are women in this show. That's the other great thing about Battlestar Galactica. The women can be just as horrifying as the men, which is different. So she finally has the baby, it's underweight, and oh, Sharon and Helo are so happy together, yay! And then the baby dies. I mean, Sharon kind of goes into the depths of despair and just hates all of humanity again, she says. And Helo's like, I'm not fracking giving up on us. Helo is awesome. I love Helo. He loves his Sharon. It's just love. And then the next time you see him is after a time jump. She's been released from jail. She's now a serving officer. It's like, yay! And she gets her own call sign, Athena, and it's like, yay! And it's just lovely, and they're living together, and everything's happy, yay! And then they find out their daughter really isn't dead and is captured aboard the Cylon ship, which is a totally different side plot of how the baby gets on the Cylon ship, but yeah. And so, in order to get to the Cylon ship, she has to, can't remember the term. It's not rebirth, it's not regenerate, it's, I can't remember. But in order, she has to die to get on the Cylon ship, to be, download into a different body. So, a different Sharon body. So she's like, they're not going to let me take a ship, Helo, we need to get our baby back, and he holds her, they kiss, and then he shoots her, and it's, I mean, he screams, and it's horrible, and it's lovely, and it's horrible, and they get their daughter back, whose name is completely escaping me. It's not Isis. I'm sorry, I know it's a mythological name, but it's completely gone out of my mind. And they get their daughter back. It's very complicated and painful, and just all these other things. And then they're a happy family, and everything's lovely. Then shit goes down because this is Battlestar Galactica, so shit's gonna go down at some point. Things happen, but by the end of the series, they are still a happy, loving family. They're like the only people who got the least fucked up, I think. I think by the end, they were the least fucked up. I mean, you take everyone else was pretty fucked to back. I mean, literally, we found Earth, our new Earth. You know, she's dying. She's been dead. He's dead. All these fucking people are dead by this point. So, this was the one couple that I think ended on the best note. Some people are going to say Baltar and Caprica ended on a good note. They ended on a positive note, but their relationship, I have to really rewatch it to appreciate their relationship. Athena and Helo, I need no rewatch to appreciate them, or Adama and Roslyn. I have no need to reappreciate them. But Athena and Helo, I think, had one of the best growths. Athena had one of the biggest growths as a character, and they had so many people against them as a couple, and they just surpassed it all, and it was awesome. I mean, I loved it. The actors portrayed it brilliantly, and it was just, I mean, I just had feels about it. I'm sorry. Let's skip to the next one. Last one. Okay, the last one is from Game of Thrones, also known as A Song of Ice and Fire by J.R.R. Martin. TV show, movie, and TV show, book. Arya Gendry. Okay, let me preface this by saying two things. One, if it's a fan fiction and it's alternate universe, I ship them when they're older. Being Arya's older, like, past the age of consent in current day. However, going by the shitty place they live in Westeros and the entire world and universe, give it a couple more years and they'll be fine, unfortunately, because they have very young ages there. But Arya and Gendry, they both, it's hard to say why I ship them. I mean, watching them on the show and reading them in the book, they bonded. They had a very clear bond. Gendry is the bastard son of King Robert Baratheon. Rest in peace, Robert Baratheon. Hope you're fighting a boar. He didn't know it. He was raised kind of just as a bastard. No royal bastard, just bastard. He became a smith. He was very, very good. And he's just, I love him. I can't explain why, I just love him. Not, like, love him. I mean, there are other characters that I love, but I love him. Arya, I'm going to say her name like 5 different ways, because I can't remember exactly how to say it, but I'm going to go. Arya is the middle child. I want to say she's older than Bran, but maybe I'm wrong. Well, or, I always think that either she's older than Bran or her and Bran are twins. That's my one thing, but I need to double check that. She is the second daughter of the House Stark. She is more tomboyish than her sister Sansa, which, once again, you get, I'm saying once again, but I don't think I even mentioned it. Tomboys always get a plus from me because they're a little bit different. But that's not bashing Sansa, because Sansa's an awesome bitch. Side topics. Okay, and she's a bit tomboyish. Her dad notices she's not fitting in as well when they move to King's Landing, so he gets her dancing lessons. Now, it's not real dancing lessons, they're just called dancing lessons, but it's sword fighting. And she's like, yes, I get sword fighting. And she has a lovely little sword that her bastard brother, John, had made for her that's perfectly thin and stuff. But she's working with, I've forgotten his name at this very moment. I had it and it's gone. But she's working with a sword master. He's awesome. Nope, name gone. And doing the dancing lessons, sword fighting, and she's learning, and she's such kind of an adorable brat, and I love her to pieces. And when everything starts going down, she kills someone to escape King's Landing. She gets taken up with the Knights Guard recruits, and Gendry is joined, and she's pretending to be a boy. He kind of starts being a friend to her, and they kind of form their own little bond. She tells him she's not a boy, and he's like, "So you're really a girl? You're really a lady? I should have been calling you my lady." And she's like, "No." Every time the books are a more far away memory, so I'm remembering the TV show. "I am not my lady." And he mocks her with it. It's like, not mocks, but kind of like fondly teases, "Oh, my lady." And she like punches him. It's awesome. But they're just so freaking adorable, and they're family. And once again, I'm going to go with the TV show. Is at one point she's like, he says, "I'm going to join the Band of Brothers," because the whole thing with the Night Watch recruits goes south because the King's Guard are trying to find Gendry because the new king, Joffrey, ordered all the bastards killed. Poor Gendry. Although they lie about that and stuff. But, there's this moment where he says he's going to join the Band of Brothers, or whatever you call them. And he's like, "They could be my family." And Arya's like, "I can be your family." And he's like, "No, you wouldn't be my family. You would be my lady." And it's like, I hate you both. I love you both. Why aren't you older? Why aren't you younger? Why must you be separated for the sake of plot? And why do I fear you'll never be reunited? Because everyone dies in this series. I mean, seriously. Right now, they couldn't be farther away if they tried. Because she's on another continent and he's running an inn? I don't even remember what he's doing at this point. Although the TV show seems to be taking him somewhere else, so who knows what he's doing now. But I just think they're perfect foils for each other, and I just hope that they live happily ever after. Like, my ideal situation, which will never ever happen, is Brienne goes back to Tarth with Jaime and, what's his name? Tommen. She takes Tommen with her and hides him, as a stable boy or something, as her squire, and Jaime sneaks around or something like that. Jaime doesn't have to be there, but I want Jaime and Brienne, but that's a totally different story. But she has Tommen as her page or whatever, and she gives Gendry the job of being her smith, and Arya comes with, and Arya is one of the people who runs Brienne starts a training ground or something. I don't know, but that would just be, Brienne and Arya hanging out, my two favorite chickadees. Sansa can show up as well, as long as Marjorie and a few others. Basically the chicks in this universe are awesome. They can all just hang in Tarth. Except for the ones who are dead. You should stay dead. But yeah, my reasons for shipping them aren't as interesting as my reasons for shipping others, because they're still growing as characters and they don't have as much interaction anymore as I'd like. But the other two, so many reasons, and this has gone on long enough, so I'm going to link to my ship list in the description, wherever that may be. I don't know where they're even putting it anymore, so I'm just going to point in every which way. I'm going to link to it. If you find a ship on there, send me the ship. I will tell you why I ship it. And if you don't see a ship, send it to me anyway. I'll tell you if I have any idea what the fuck it is, and if I ship it. Also, I will tell you if I ship something in canon or fanon. Fanon being fan fiction, and canon being in the canon itself. For Arya and Gendry, it's a mix. I hope to God it happens in canon, but I fear it never will. So it's right now mostly a fanon ship, but it's canon in hope. So once again, thank you for listening to Cat Yui. I will get back on my Glee rewatches eventually. I need the mood to hit me. But if you want, you can check out the F Yeah Glee podcast. It's another channel. I'll link that as well. It's awesome if you love my Glee stuff. Alright, thanks for listening. I hope you all have a very wondrous week, and you might see more of these in a little bit. Toodles!